What is up, everybody? It is Wick here, and I've got another one of these bolo videos to show you. Things you can look for out in the wild at garage sales, thrift stores. Find them, make a lot of money. Some of these a pretty crazy amount of money. Honestly, got some good stuff to show you today. As always, if you enjoy this type of video, make sure to hit that like button, and I'll keep making them. Let's jump into it. So the first item I got here are these Merry Mushroom canisters and, well, just a bunch of other random things, Merry Mushroom. Now, I was mentioning these in a video the other day. I said Magic Mushroom is what I called them, and people were like, Magic Mushroom, what are you talking about? And, well, I meant Merry Mushroom, so I figured I'd just throw these in the video, talk about them a little bit. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a pretty popular item in the reseller community, I think, but there's some big money in these things, like this set of 17 canisters, $800, cutting boards. It looks like these cutting boards were new in box. Some more Merry Mushroom canisters. Here's a Lazy Susan spinning canister. It sold for $612, 41 bids. So that's pretty good. Another canister set. What else we got here? Here's a watering can. Check this out. $567.50 on auction. Now, these originally came from Sears, I believe, exclusively. 1970s. You can see the look there. Pretty unique looking design. So anything mushroom, if I see it out in the wild, I'm investigating it because it could just be huge money. These types of things are my favorite kind of bolos, if you will. Be on the lookout for these because for someone who's not in the reselling world, you just wouldn't think that these things would have this kind of value. You can find a watering can from the 1970s that has a different type of design. It's not going to be worth near as much. I don't know why people want these other than nostalgia. Probably people having them, in their home growing up. Their grandma's having them. I feel like my grandma had a bunch of this stuff, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. What else do we have here? Here's a metal milk jug. $500 on auction. More of the canisters. Canisters are probably the common thing. Kitchen secretary, 1975 mushrooms calendar, $450. Pretty impressive. There's a spice rack, $400. I mean, obviously made a lot of different items under this Merry Mushroom design. Look at this. Even got some flatware, $395, 32 piece. Now, this is something you could just dig in at thrift stores in the silverware, and it would be easy to spot these. Even if you're just finding one or two, I bet you could sell one or two for like 10, 15 bucks a piece, right? I've been mentioning this a lot recently, but it feels like some of this stuff is just easier to find, is better than silver and gold. And a lot of people are digging through silverware, looking for actual silver, so they can scrap it and make a little bit of money. But honestly, if you're finding like a set of this Sears Merry Mushroom stuff, you're probably making a lot more money, to be honest. Here's a 1976 Merry Mushroom calendar. Apparently they made one every year it was available. Cheese board, $350. There's even a coffee grinder here. Just a phenomenal line of items to be looking for out in the wild. Let me know in the comments if any of you have found this stuff and what you found and how much money you made on it. Every time I make these videos, people go out the next day and they find the same stuff. In my last video like this, I talked about the Tornado Rex game, and a reseller friend of mine found it in his Goodwill. Probably a $300, $400 game in perfect condition and complete and working and everything. So just goes to show you this stuff is actually out there. Just got to be at the right place at the right time. So it's getting close to Christmas, so I figured we'd talk about some Christmas items. Some of these I've probably talked about. I mean, a Christmas video 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember what was on it, but these Advent Christmas calendars, some of them can be great money, especially the Avon one. Avon makes a lot of junk that's not really worth reselling, but the calendar is something that is. Here's some different ones. Pretty much any old Advent calendar thing you find, it's worth looking up. This one, Santa's Workshop. Some of them are made of wood. Here's the Avon one. Best offer on that one. Not sure what it sold for. Here's one brand new. $229. I bet a lot of people got these and just never opened them. And the thing with the Avon Advent calendars, they're worth more if they have the little mouse that goes in the pocket. Like this one right here has the mouse. I guess you could just keep an eye out for the mouse. I mean, it'd be kind of rare if you just found the mouse, but I bet it sells pretty good if you did. A lot of these are new for $200, but you get down here in the pre-owned, you're still seeing them for around $200. Here's a Larry Warren Felt Christmas tree Advent calendar, $189. I don't think I've ever heard of that one. Look how basic and just cheap that looks, right? That could just be thrown on a shelf at a thrift store. Most people would just look right past that. Here's some sort of Nutcracker one. More of the Avon. The Avon one is very popular. I actually found a clock the other day from Hallmark that you turn the dial and it says something different every day. It's made like a radio, and it was actually worth quite a bit, like 50 bucks, I think. I have it listed, have not sold that yet, but just some pretty cool stuff. Here's another felt Christmas tree advent calendar. Oh, I should mention I sold a cross stitch advent calendar for what was it, like $140 this year. I found at a rummage sale for $1. So even things like cross stitch advent calendars can definitely be worth some money. There's a vintage LL Bean advent calendar, $175. Who would have ever guessed? Here's something I discovered this year because I found it at Goodwill for $3.99. I've already sold mine. It's not this exact one here. This is Hallmark Angel Bell Choir Synchronized Musical Light Set Porcelain. I'm just reading the title. Pretty surprising that these are selling for around $200. Here's one for $175. But these bells that light up and play different Christmas songs seem to be pretty valuable. Now here's what I sold. This is the Carolites Bell of Noel musical lighted 3-bell cluster. I don't even know if this has been in a video yet, honestly. But when I was looking up comps for it when I first bought it, I said, wow, this is worth like $50. When I went to list it, I was going to list it for 50 bucks. But I saw this one on auction sold for $165.50. I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to price mine like $150 to see if it would sell. And well, it did sell. Mine is right here. You can see that it shows it sold twice. That's because I had to cancel the order and the person rebought it because they needed to change the address. And I don't change the address unless you use the one that you purchased, just to prevent fraud and all that. But it also sold very fast. You see it's from 1979 and pretty good story behind it. The woman said it was for her brother. They grew up with it in the house. It's a secret Santa gift. He doesn't know it's coming. It's going to show up on his doorstep. And she was thrilled. She said she checked eBay. She didn't expect to actually find it. And there it was. So pretty awesome. I found it in Goodwill for $3.99. I turned it into a $150 plus shipping sale. Tested working. It lights up and everything. Here's some sort of Fenton glass bell set. Not exactly what I was trying to show here, but the Hallmark synchronized bells. And there's some other, here's Mr. Christmas, 1990 musical brass bells. Any of these bells that kind of play Christmas tunes and they light up, worth paying attention to for sure. So let's talk about some luggage real quick. This Hartman luggage, I think this is made it in a video. I found a makeup case, train case the other day. I think I sold it. Did I sell that and ship it out? I don't even remember. Maybe not. I think somebody was wanting me to take a lower price. But some of this Hartman luggage is actually pretty valuable, like these zipper bags, Weekender, the leather stuff, the vintage stuff, these tweed sunshine suitcases, got the weird like face in the sun on there. Here's some more tweed ones. And you can see like these things look pretty basic and cheap to me. I know at Goodwill I see the luggage like this all the time. I usually ignore it, but I'm going to start looking at the names at least because, there's Louis Vuitton stuff, like the Hartman, the vintage stuff, just like the Merry Mushroom stuff. People are looking for certain names. And if I can get $470 for some luggage, I would be thrilled to find it. Here's one for $3.99. It's just worth my time, looking into that kind of stuff just to make sure it's not valuable. While we're talking about that, of course, the briefcases, I may have talked about briefcases before. Of course, the big ones are going to be like Louis Vuitton and Hermes and, the crocodile alligator briefcase, stuff like that are going to be high end, but it's worth looking at the briefcases just because you don't have a $2,000 briefcase doesn't mean, finding one that sells for $100 or $200 is not going to be worth your time. Here's a Nike one, briefcase from the Phil Knight movie. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I talked about briefcases, but I figured since I was talking about the Hartman luggage, and since they make briefcases, it was worth mentioning again. Here's something that is popular right now, and that's Taylor Swift. I honestly don't even know if I could, tell you a Taylor Swift song, but I think she's just, hear about her everywhere. I think she's one of the most successful musicians, singers, songwriters, whatever she does, dancing. I don't know if she plays any instruments, but she has some expensive snow globes right now. I can only imagine it's because of her popularity. And you can see some of these are going for around $3,000, $2,000, over $1,000. I find it pretty crazy that something like this would sell for that much. If I was thrifting and I didn't look up stuff and I picked up a Taylor Swift snow globe and it was priced $100, I'd say there's no way and probably sit it back down Obviously, as a reseller, I would look it up, but I would be surprised. Just like when I learned about these, I was surprised. And honestly, I learned about these because, well, I was going to talk about snow globes since it was Christmas time and how so many of these can be worth a lot of money. The Disney Little Mermaid one here, and I've sold some Disney snow globes for quite a bit. Of course, Jim Shore makes good ones, but there's also a lot of other good Christmas snow globes out there. Every time I find a Disney snow globe, I look it up, and usually it's not worth anything. Other times, I have found one that was worth about $75 before, but like it had so many broken pieces on it. So I just left it, and the water was out of it and all that stuff. Just didn't want to mess with it in that condition. Honestly, it looks like a lot of the Little Mermaid stuff is really good. Here's an Alice in Wonderland. Some of these are just very collectible, and I'm always trying to keep an eye out for them. I just never found a really good Disney snow globe. Well, I did get some Jim Shore ones. I can't remember if they were snow globes. I think they were just figurines though, but yeah, pretty unlucky in the snow globe department. Here's something that scares me a little bit because I was at a Goodwill recently and I saw a Barney plush mixed in with a bunch of other plush, and I just kind of ignored it because I've bought Barney plush in the past, and typically, $15, $20 is what I've sold them for, and they don't move very fast. And I think I have one or two listed or some in the death pile, and I said, yeah, I don't need to mess with that. And then I learned that there's these Dakin Barney plush that are worth a lot. $710 for this 7-inch super rare mini plush. And you can see the prices are quite high on these. Even when you start getting into the more sane average amounts, $350, $265. And Dakin makes a lot of decent plush that sells for a decent amount. Like I've mentioned Garfield plush. They make a lot of good ones that sell. But this Barney plush is looking pretty good. Here's some. I don't think they have the clothing, or I guess the other ones didn't either, right? Of course, if they have the tag, if they're in good condition, they're going to be worth a lot more. But yeah, I'm going to have to start paying attention more to Barney plush, that's for sure. Speaking of plush, we got these vintage Rushton Company Pink Santa Claus. These have the rubber face. They can be quite valuable. You can just look at the comps here. $985, $679. Of course, if I see anything vintage Christmas like this, it's going to get my attention. As with a lot of people, if you're outsourcing, you see something old, Christmassy, it's worth looking into if you're not familiar with it already. I believe the majority of these come from the 50s. Looks like some of them are store displays. This one says Coca-Cola, $415. And just look at the auctions on these. It just shows that these are very accurate prices. And I always say in my videos like this, some of the extremely high prices, they could be offset a little bit. But when you're seeing this many on auction with the bids selling for this much, you know that these are going to sell for a good amount of money. And I think they're rare, but they're kind of plentiful compared to some other stuff that's, rare and valuable out there. So have you found a Rushton Santa? And now we're getting into some true holy grails of things to find and sell. These Evergleam aluminum Christmas trees can just be phenomenal. $17,201 with 31 bids on this one right here. There's one that sits on a table for over $10,000, and honestly today at Goodwill I saw one that looked a lot like that. And when I got up close to it, I saw that it wasn't an aluminum tree, but I would love to find one of these. This one actually rotates, kind of like the Fantasia lamps. Here's another one. This is an 8-foot one for $8,100, $4,600, and from there they just keep going down. Even some of these smaller ones, I'd happily take in the $2,000 range, $1,000 range. I'd really be curious to know if anyone on the channel's found one of these before, how much it sold for. Love to find it in the box like that. Make it easier to ship. It's crazy how some of these just basic 4-foot Evergleam trees are still selling for around $1,000. One day, I'll find one. Some more Christmas stuff, nativity scene sets, and even just the pieces. Here's these Goodwill Hamel nativity sets. Pretty good name if you find any. Some of this stuff is they're larger jumbo nativity scene, and there is some of these larger pieces at a rummage sale not long ago. I was trying to find a name on them. I wasn't seeing any. I'm gonna have to do more research to see if they're stamped. I'm assuming they are. So when I pick up one that's large like this, I'm like, well, I don't see a name on it. I know it's probably just, an off-brand or something. But I need to make sure because I could have left some good pieces there just by assuming, So a lot of these pieces, it's good to part out. I've been selling a lot this year that I bought last year. I've just been selling them. I mean, smaller ones that I'm getting $20, $25 a piece for, but I'm making some pretty good money on this stuff. And I would hate to ship these large ones, like the whole set. I would probably part them out just because of that reason. Another brand to look out for, these Anri ones. I think most of them are wooden and just phenomenal amounts of money. I even bought some generic made in Italy, like no name, no brand, small plastic PVC set for $2.99, and it sold very quickly for $20 plus shipping. So anytime I see these, I'm always looking for a name because you just never know, what kind of value they have. And then of course we got to talk about blow molds real quick. If you're not familiar with blow molds, especially Christmas vintage ones, can be big money. Got this Santa mechanical Santa blow mold, sold for over $2,000. The big one is going to be the sleigh with the reindeer. In the whole set, you're looking for $2,000. I'd probably try to sell that locally rather than ship it. Sometimes I drive by a house and I see people, they have these in their yard or they have them on their roof, and I'm thinking that's worth a lot of money. I hope no one steals it. Kind of thing though, you could find on Facebook Marketplace, somebody's selling, trying to get rid of it. But a lot of people are looking for snow or the blow molds, and big retail knows that. They're starting to make vintage looking blow molds now. You can buy at Walmart. Probably going to drive the price down because a lot of people that want blow molds for decoration and won't go buy the vintage ones because they're priced too high. But for now, if you're out there looking for them, if I see these at a garage sale for cheap enough, I'll pick them up. Of course, we've talked about Empire blow mold is a great name. General Foam, Nativity Scene blow mold, of course, that's going to be worth money, right? Santa on this train, $847. But yeah, won't spend any more time on blow molds. Definitely money there if you can find them cheap enough. But there it is, everybody. That's what I had to show you today. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you found extra special, anything you found. Come back to the video and let me know if you find something tomorrow when you're out. Also, I find it amazing. A lot of people that watch my videos, they see their own listings, their own sales on these, and they point them out. Hey, that was my sale. I think that's really cool as well. But I really want to thank you for watching. Please hit that like button for me. Before you go, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Until next time.